tie would be the only person representing you in the House of Parliament. This is who will be representing you in the House of Parliament. You have been meeting me halfway, so this is a bold statement to show you that I'm willing to do the same. Now let's be clear, I am not here to fight for you, because fighting for you implies that you would not be by my side. I am here to fight with you, to tackle the issues of entrepreneurship, improving skills, and of course literacy rates throughout the constituency of St. Andrews Northwest. We would be fighting side by side. Every word I speak through my speech in the House of Parliament would be a word spoken by all of the youth.
My name is Amanda Japal George, your youth candidate for St. Andrews Southeast, and I pledge to be the voice of the youth of St. Andrews Southeast, advocating for your dreams, your challenges, and aspirations. I pledge that I will be with you in the good times and the bad times. In me, you have a friend, a confidant, a sister, a brethren, and an advocate. I commit to working tirelessly to create opportunities for your growth, to listen to your concerns, and to represent our needs with integrity and dedication. So don't ever think that you aren't good enough. I am here to be your voice. I am here to represent you. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the wrong pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently, the ones who are not fond of rules and who has no respect for the status quo. We can quote you, we can disagree with you, we can glorify or vilify you, but what we can't do is ignore you, because you change things, you push the human race forward. And though some may see you as the crazy ones, the black sheep in our families and communities, I see genius, brilliance, and hope. Because the people like you and I who think we can change the world are the ones who do. So take my hand. Together, we will build a future where every young person.
Welcome, welcome one and all to another of a series of debates. Of course, we've got the candidates. They are here, they are excited, and they're ready to go. We have our young stars with us, and listen, these candidates are amazing. They've got firing power, they've got the information, they've got the facts, they've got the confidence. And of course, you'll get to see what they are all made of today. We have two candidates with us, and they are from the St. George's Northwest constituency. Let's get to our first candidate for today, Mr. Jamal Mitchell. Welcome, sir.
Hello. Greetings, everybody on the live, and greeting our regional viewers as well.
All right. So welcome, and I'd like to ask the candidates to walk us through the experience, walk us through your preparation. What was it like preparing for today's debate?
Well, to be honest with you, preparing for this debate is something I always do, right? I didn't have the mindset of knowing it's a debate. I always converse with people, and while I'm conversing with people, while we are exchanging ideas, we have a form of debate to come up with a realistic approach and solution to these issues. So this is something I've been doing for the longest while, and I'm ready for this.
All right, he said he's ready for it. All right, let's hear what his opponent has to say about that. Angela Bowen, welcome to today's debate.
Hello and good afternoon to everyone on the live. I am Angela Bowen for St. George Northwest. In my preparations for today, I took the time to converse with people my age on the topics that we are discussing today. I also took the time to talk to people who are not youths, who are elders in the community, and they would know, okay, well, this is how you can approach it. So I've also been preparing for the longest while, so I'm prepared to speak on these topics today.
Okay. So, candidates, let's get ready to rumble. So, folks, the candidates, they have been briefed on the rules of today's debate. We've got timekeepers. That's going to make sure that they stick to the time. When you hear the first bell, it says that they have 30 seconds remaining in their presentation. And when you hear the double bell, that means the time has elapsed or time has expired. All right. So let's go over to Mr. Jamal Mitchell first. All right. St. George's serves as Grenada's economic hub. yet youth unemployment remains a significant concern. What is your advocacy plan to create sustainable job opportunities for young people in the parish of St. George? Would you like me to repeat, or are you good?
Repeat again so that the viewers as well can hear the question.
All right, so viewers, St. George's serves as a economic hub here in Grenada, yet youth unemployment remains a significant concern. What is your advocacy plan to create sustainable job opportunities for young people in the parish of St. George?
Right. So firstly, I'm going to be looking at the infrastructure sector and housing sector of Grenada. Basically, we know that there are a lot of roads and buildings that needs repairs and a lot of contractors. They are a need for workers in Grenada, and there are a lot of young men and young women by the block, and a lot of unproductivities that's going on right now in our country. So we need to be able to educate the young people, train them, of course, so that they can be able to have safety knowledge on the job. So we can be able to brief them on what is to be able to expected from the program, and most likely incorporate them into these programs. So when we enroll these programs, so that they can be able to get jobs from the building and infrastructure development programs that we have. And then looking at the agricultural sector, since we have a couple of food insecurities as a country in Grenada, we are looking to incorporate the youth in agriculture so that the young people could be able to get a bit of agricultural training so that they could be able to be farmers and continue. And then we have the youth in tourism, where we train them and then we get them certified so that they could be able to be taxi drivers, tourist guides, etc., etc. We have the youth in agro-tourism, where we train them and then we certify them so that they can be able to become agro-processors, etc., etc. We got a lot of good things planned for Grenada, but the time is limited. So stay tuned, guys.
All right. Ms. Bowen, what's your response to that question?
My response to that question is that I believe we should diversify the economy in having ecotourism implemented. We could have zip lines in some forests so the tourists can enjoy our natural flora and fauna. By diversifying, we're also creating jobs. And in that, these persons will be multidisciplined. They will have an ability to be academically inclined as well as skills-based inclined, right? Seeing this need for more jobs and this unemployment issue, it is important to note that sometimes the youths are not seeing what they want in Grenada. They will most likely go overseas, but let's say, okay, we have some persons here that are looking into architecture. We could have a program or a workshop in introducing architecture into Grenada, and therefore that will create more jobs. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mitchell and Ms. Bowen, for the first round. Any rebuttals? Are we good to go? Our second question, we'll shoot that to you, Ms. Bowen. As a national youth parliamentarian, what policies would you support to balance tourism growth with protecting St. George's environment and natural resources, and why? Let me take that again. As a national youth parliamentarian, what policies would you support to balance tourism growth with protecting St. George's environment and natural resources, and why?
In response, I believe that we should invest heavily in airspace. We should not continue spreading our buildings. We should continue upwards, and in that way we won't be overstepping on agricultural land. We will be using airspace and preserving our agriculture and flora and fauna.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Mitchell?
Thank you, everybody. I would firstly like to touch on a reef restoration project where we could partner up with places like Sandals because they're environmentally friendly as well, and we know they do a lot of good stuff as well. So the tourists could be able to come from wherever the part of the world to come to be able to help assist in restoration of the reef project, right? And then we have the youth in agrotourism where we train them, certify them, and then we get the historical sites restoration going on. We're gonna get the mapping through agrotourism. Then we're gonna incorporate the agro processors and the tourism, the tour guides, etc., so that they could be able to work hand in hand to get the products out there, get the branding out there, get the funds to be circulating within our economy. And at the end of the day, what we're doing, other brands like the World Bank, the CARICOM Bank, etc., they're going to see what we're doing and they're going to acknowledge it and they're going to continue to support Grenada. Furthermore, stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss.
Okay, thank you. Any rebuttals? So far, we're going. Okay, so Mr. Mitchell, the mic is open for you. So we'll get to the next question. We'll send that question your way. Many young people are concerned about being able to afford property or homes. In your view, what do you think is the main cause of this issue? As a youth leader, what would you advocate for to help young people afford housing and enjoy a decent standard of living? So I'll take it again. Many young people, they are concerned about not being able to afford property or homes. In your view, what do you think is the main cause of this issue? As a youth leader, what would you advocate for to help young people to afford housing and enjoy a decent standard of living?
Right. So first thing, I want to give big up to the current administration for the land tenure regularization program. This land tenure regularization program is here to regularize government crown lands so that we can have more people, not just young people, but in this particular question we're talking about young people. So more young people going to have more availability to lands. Now, seeing that I've been speaking about job implementations, etc. So the young people going to have a job so that they could be able to be enlisted on payment program. So even if it's a small contribution, whatever contribution that the agreement is going to be on, at least we know that they have a job, and we have the Grenada Development Bank and other resources for the young people to tap into. So this should never be a problem, and we should have a mental health awareness where we are conversing and speaking to the young people to ensure that any problems that occur, we can be able to facilitate them and provide any necessary resources that the government has, and what we have, we can be able to assess them and help them further on their journey to life. Thank you.
All right. And Ms. Boeing?
Okay, I believe that we should have more educating of the youth. They should know, as first-time buyers, what are required of them and what programs are available to them to help them in purchasing land, purchasing property, right? In addition to that, I believe the main problem is cost. Most of the youths aren't in that range of having that kind of salary to afford. So I believe that having that educating and we could help you budget your salary, and so that by the end of the year you have enough money to own property.
All right. Any rebuttals? We good? All right, we're moving nicely, folks. If you're just joining us, these are your candidates for St. George's Northwest, and you are invited to vote for them. Once you're in their constituency, vote for them. These are the young parliamentarians that you're very likely to see in our parliament. So, I mean, you have to start watching them from now to see their growth. And of course, there will be no surprise to you, or it will be no surprise to you when you see them representing you, as your next government minister or so. All right, so we're getting over to the issue of healthcare, and we're going to ask Ms. Boeing to take this one first. With growing concerns about healthcare in Grenada and rising rates of non-communicable diseases like diabetes and heart disease among the youth, what would you advocate for as a youth leader to help ensure that residents, especially young people, stay healthy? With growing concerns about healthcare in Grenada and rising rates of non-communicable diseases like diabetes and heart disease among the youth, what would you advocate for as a youth leader to help ensure that residents and especially young people stay healthy? Ms. Bowen?
My response, I believe that educating and having community visits will be very influential. Having more videos online, like having videos on the Ministry of Youth page about the benefits of eating healthy, staying healthy, exercising will be very beneficial. We're now seeing an obesity rise. Most of the time it can be genetic, but health, lifestyle does play a part. Now, having community visits will ensure that people are in a know that how they balance their diet really does have an effect on their children, on themselves, and how they go about in life.
All right, thank you. Mr. Mitchell?
Thank you once again. I hope that the viewers online, they're doing all right, and everything is going well with them. And since we're talking about healthcare, I would like to touch on our agriculture sector, because due to the food insecurity problems that we have in Grenada, we see that a lot of people are eating a lot of rice, potatoes, and all of these things are too much carbs for us. And we need to be able to understand our body. And that's why I'm advocating for the Ministry of Health and the nutritionists that they come out and continue to educate our general public. So, for example, we have physical programs, we have Pump It Up, we have community activities. We need to revive a lot of community activities. We used to have community cricket, community football. We used to have community activities like heats, etc., track and field. We need to revive these things, and we need to do it like a zone or something, like in the constituencies going against constituencies. We continue to advocate for sports in our economy, and we're gonna look at the agriculture sector. So during the youth in agriculture program, we're gonna continue to help and encourage the young people, and most likely we could come out with a youth in fisheries program and a youth in agrotourism program, so that the young people can be able to have better quality of foods to eat. Stay tuned for the rest tomorrow, please, Lord.
All right. Now, we are moving over to education, Mr. Mitchell. We're going to come over to you. Do you think that educational institutions in Grenada are adequately preparing our youth for the modern workforce? And as a youth leader, what would be your advocacy plan in this regard? I'll repeat it again. Do you think that educational institutions in Grenada are adequately preparing our youth for the modern workforce? And as a youth leader, what would be your advocacy plan in this regard?
Well, firstly, as a young person, I went through this whole process. So I am advocating for a better relationship with NTA. These people who are certifying the young people, some young people are complaining that they haven't received a couple of certificates from these entities. And I'm advocating that we have better communications with the organization so that these young people can be able to get their certificates and be able to get jobs. And what I'm doing with the Youth in Agriculture program, the Youth in Tourism program, and the Youth in Agrotourism program, we are actually educating, training, and professionalizing these young people, because we have GIDC and so many grants that are be able to obtain, but we need to certify our people. So many businesses in Grenada, but they're uncertified, and we need to have a standard, a regional standard. That's why NTA is here. So we need to be able to implement these changes so that the young people can be able to benefit from the hard work that they're sowing, and they can be able to reap everything that they've put into their business, etc. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Bowen.
My response, I believe that schools are really trying their best. I've went through the process of secondary school, currently in college, and I saw the need to have 13 subjects. Having that amount, I diversified my palette by having skills-based and academically based subjects. Having these subjects will have you having something to step back on if you ever reach a point where you don't know where you're going. You always have so you become multidisciplined, and being multidisciplined will enable you to be able to go into any sector and have your eggs in any basket, basically. The good thing that is going on in schools now is that there's coding. So coding will not only have them academically inclined, but they also have them skilled as well. In terms of job security, I believe that there should be more private and public sector partnerships so that they can enable more jobs to facilitate all these children that are coming out of college and secondary school. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And we continue. I see the comments are coming in. We're happy to know that you're enjoying today's debate and of course, listening to the perspectives from the individual candidates. We are continuing. So the next question. Young people are the future and often advocate for a seat at the decision-making table. And I guess as much that is probably part of the process that we're having here. At this point in Grenada, do you think enough is being done to ensure young people are adequately represented and have a voice in decision making? We go over to Ms. Boeing. I'll repeat the question again. Young people, they are the future, and they are often advocating for a seat on the decision making table. At this point in Grenada, do you think enough is being done to ensure young people are adequately represented and have a voice in decision making? Ms. Boyne?
I believe right now more can be done. We can have a youth council in probably every constituency, and I see that happen in my constituency, having one person in every village that will let us know about their thoughts on what's going on. Having these facilities will ensure that every youth voice is heard, and now if I'm elected, I will make sure those voices are heard and that more people will have my seat and will have that opportunity to create these changes. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Boyne? Sorry, Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, so firstly, I would say one thing. The poor and vulnerable, I've been hearing this for many years. The rich will get richer, the poor will get poorer. I see this as nothing. We need to get rid of this, right? So we need to give young people a fair chance, and basically we need youth ministers and to further establish youth arms to better facilitate the needs and wants of the communities, because we are seeing that young people are advocating for things that they need in the communities, but it's because they're not a part of an organization or association that they cannot be able to benefit from what is happening. You're seeing that in the lights and the football, etc., etc. Young people are not really accessing what the government is creating, like the resources. They are not being able to access these things. So I'm advocating for the young people to have access to these things to further develop our country. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be talking loud, but at the end of the day, you elect me, I get your point across. No more poor and vulnerable. We're not holding them with no roadwork again. We're giving them a job. And these people need a job. These young people need a job, and I'm here, and I'm advocating to be here for you for a long time. God spare my life. Amen.
Okay. Okay, any rebuttals, or you're okay to go, Mr. Boyne? Mr. Mitchell? Amen. All right, so you take a breather. We're going into another round of questioning. Are we good? All right, good. So we're going again. So, as candidates for St. George's Northwest constituency, both of you indicated that community development, youth empowerment, etc., are your top areas of interest. What specific initiatives will you introduce in your constituency to advocate or to advance community and youth development? All right. I would like to repeat. As candidates for St. George's Northwest, both of you indicated that community development, youth empowerment are your top areas of interest, what specific initiatives would you introduce in your constituency to advance community and youth development? Who feels confident enough to take this question first? Who feels confident enough to take this question first?
Okay,
Good.
I'll
So
talk.
Mr. Mitchell is going to take it.
I'll talk. I'll take one for the team. Okay, so we need more sports activities, right? We need more sports involvement, right? And again, the poor and vulnerable cannot afford for the necessary equipments to be able to partake in adequate sporting activities, right? So we see the GFA, we have the Ministry of Youths, we have so many funding organizations that need to be able to focus their energies on a group of young people. And we need to seek more community togetherness, right? So we're gonna have some educational programs where we educate the young people on mental health awareness. We're gonna have cooking, we're gonna be able to have cleanups, we're gonna teach them morals about life to prepare them for the job and reality of what the teachers are not really teaching them. We're trying to give them a realistic approach to life on a whole. No, we're gonna be able to have the support of the government and support of funding organizations because we're gonna be registered and everything. So we are here to help the young people, and not just the young people, because we are going to re-educate the parents as well, because remember, education starts at home. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Bowen.
The best is always for last. Now, from the start of my campaign, I have been very passionate about community spirit. The first thing I did was go around in my community, even to the Buseju pasture, and at that time there was a football match going on, right? Now, I looked at the infrastructure and I realized there's a big hole in the pavilion in Buseju pasture. Now, this is dangerous, but in addition to that, I believe that we really should invest in reviving our community centers. Where I live in Brazil, our community center is not usable. So I believe we should revive that and have a place where youth can come together and really speak about their issues and other points they want to bring across, preserve our culture, and talk about our history, right? We can have some elders in the village and come to teach them about Laja Bless and all these things, right? Having clubs, sports clubs, as previously mentioned. I remember my father talking about football clubs that we used to have, which I said quite a long time ago. But yes, bringing back these clubs will engage our youths and make them see talent in them. So you having youth groups as well is very beneficial to them. Thank you.
All right. So Mr. Mitchell wanted to come in here. You can turn on your mic and go ahead.
Yes, so as the representative for the St. George Northwest District, I have a situation in my area whereby the playing field in Grand Mall St. George's, that coastal area where there's a wired stone wall, it is deteriorating. And the footballers have been complaining and they need that issue to be resolved, because as you see the climate change and all of these situations are happening. I'm going to take this as a platform to speak about it, because the footballers are getting injured when the ball goes over, the piece of iron jukes them, etc., etc. We need to have safety preventative measures so that the young people are not harmed when they're partaking in these sports activities. No matter what activity it is, we need to safeguard our people. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So, as you say, what do you say? Save the best for last. We have more questions, but I deliberately allowed one of you to take the question first to see who's going to be benevolent, who's going to take the lead, because I wanted to be able to present the next question to you. So, Ms. Bowen, traditionally, women have been second to men in leadership. Yes? Yet over the years, women have broken barriers and led change. I see your reaction. However, disparities, inequalities still exist between men and women. You'd admit? As a youth leader, would you advocate for gender quotas to ensure equal representation in leadership positions? Or do you believe that the selection should be based solely on merit? I'll repeat the question. Traditionally, women have been second to men in leadership, yet over the years, women have broken barriers and led change. However, disparities in equality still exist between men and women. As a youth leader, would you advocate for gender quotas to ensure equal representation in leadership positions? Or do you believe that the selection should be based solely on merit?
In a way, I feel like this is undermining women's ability to reach that level. But in reality, I'm seeing a lot of women in leadership. I think I'm not seeing a lot of men, but we have a prime minister that is a male. So, but one day there will be a woman there, might be me. So, about gender equality, I feel like we would mostly see it happening in terms of domestic violence. There is situations where women actually are not the victims and are the persons creating that harm to men. Although it's not reported, I believe that it happens and I would hear about it. Now, I do believe that it should be from merit. You can get your positions. Women can reach that level and have that merit and reach that position. Men as well, and I believe I'm seeing less and less men in the classrooms I've been in. So there is that undermining of men's ability to reach that level as well.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mitchell?
This is a game changer for Grenada and the OECS on a whole. Now, yes, women empowerment, we have a couple of plans, right? For the pregnant school children, let me say those are 16, 17, they give up the time to make the children. Now they're looking back to bounce back to life and get programs. So we're going to have programs, skill programs. If it's sewing, if it's cooking, whatever it is, you will have a voice to talk. So you can talk to me, right? Also, to the young men, as my opponent was just briefly speaking on, we're not seeing much young men, but I got you covered. We got you covered, young men, because those young farmers who haven't gotten anything, right? We are in the process of developing a new form of insurance that's gonna cover our country on a whole. So if you're doing tourism, if you're doing farming, agro processing, and you're losing, we can be able to come together and come up with policies so we could approach these entities to get better for you on a whole. Now, on a real serious thing, men, we need to up our game, and young women have the same opportunity. Everybody has the same opportunity, no matter what party you're supporting. We all have a right to get a job, and this is how I see it. We all need a job. Thank you.
But just as a follow-up, do you believe that there should be quotas, or it should just be merit-based?
It should be merit. Everybody has a fair opportunity.
Okay, all right. Mr. Mitchell, keep your mic on, because I'm coming straight to you. As a youth leader, would you support policies to regulate media content in order to promote local music and culture? Why or why not? As a youth leader, would you support policies to regulate media content in order to promote local music and culture? Why or why not?
I would do that because it's a very touchy topic, right? The foreign entertainers can be able to make their monies as well, but our Grenadians are not being acknowledged enough for their hard work. So since we're talking about entertainers, right, I believe that the entertainers supposed to have, in every constituency, we should at least have a studio for these entertainers to be able to come together and record their stuff, right? We need this first thing first, and for the foremost, this is a part of our culture, to be honest with you. Carnival, our carnival is made up of this type of cultural music. So this is how we as Grenadians showcase our culture through our music, and we need to promote our local artists and give them the support that they need, because we see that they have the potential. We see that we've seen Dash, we've seen Boise, we've seen Electrify, Looney Spark and Electrify, we've seen Thunder, we've seen so many good artists, and there are so many artists that does not has the assets and exposure that these established artists have. So we need to be able to work and give them empowerment, because we need to support local, because our monies are circulating within our economy, and we need to be able to support each other. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now, this morning I saw one of my schoolmates actually have a song and everything. So I do believe that there is potential out there, not like Dash and everybody that is already established, but there are some underdogs in a way. They are starting up, and it's people my age, people our age that have started, and they're looking for that viewership. I've seen on Instagram that they're having like a boost page and these things. So having a policy on the can you repeat the question?
Yeah, would you support policies to regulate media content? So a
Right,
regulatory
regulation.
body who sets up the policies.
Right. Yes. We've seen it happen in Spice Mass, where they would tell everyone, okay, you should play your local artists. You should like search them up, play them and everything. And well, even though there are a lot of entertainers abroad that are very entertaining, I believe that our own artists and people out there that can entertain us makes us feel more proud of our culture, more proud of being a Grenadian.
Okay. All right. As you say, it's a tricky topic. I've worked most of my life in a radio station, and for example, seasonally, you'll hear a lot of soca music, and sometimes, although you would like to establish a quota, like we were just speaking of quota, to maintain a good rotation of some of the local songs, if the lyrics or the musical accompaniment doesn't reach a particular standard as much as you would like to assist by playing the songs, you still have a certain level to maintain. And so it does become a little tricky, even at Christmas time, when it gets a little harder, because again, although you would like to promote a lot of the parang, that's what we were known for, these days you find that less and less people or Grenadians are singing parang music ever since the death of Anthony Jericho Greenwich, and the whole men from the mainland band no longer existing. You find that the quality of parang music has deteriorated, the quality and the quantity of it, thus leaving us with very little to play at this time of the year. So then again, there's this battle with trying to establish a good amount of local music, while at the same time getting the quality that is required for prime time. I see Mr. Mitchell, he has his hand up.
Right now, I want to big up my boy DJ Kai and Papi, because I've just listened to you, and you see we have DJ Kai and we have Papi, and I've seen that they started the parang, and it's not just parang, you're laughing, you're feeling excitement, and at the end of the day, we need to support these local artists. Seriously, we need to be able to support these local artists so that they could be able to go on mainstream, because just as how they have their YouTube channels, they're established, and this is international, so we could be able to push them so that they could reach where they need to reach and be a beacon, a leader. We need to empower them so that they can be leaders to direct the younger generation to revive what we once had. Whoever, the person that passed away, rest in peace. And to their family, condolences to their family. I accept my sympathy, and we need to revive it. Thank you.
All right. I see that Miss Bowen had her hand up. Miss Bowen, you wanted to come in here?
Well, if you could pick up people, I want to pick up DJ Fire. One of my schoolmates. I would often listen to his mixes, and I would often post it up on my Instagram and let people know about him, let people know about other DJ and other musical artists. Mm-hmm. I'm a part of the Entrepreneurship Club in TAMCC, and our vice president, Kibos Hamilton, plays the saxophone. Also, one of my friends, KD. That's what we call him. I can't remember his full name, but he also is musically inclined, and these people have played in public spaces, and I would see that they have more opportunities like that to showcase their talent, not only in Grenada, but on the mainstream media.
And as we wrap up, just to end on that point of mainstream media, that is where as you're saying, your friends and your DJ friends and so on, that's where they come in, because as much as you would find that there's a dependency on the mainstream media, these entertainers realistically do have a responsibility as well to promote themselves. Yes, to get to a certain standard of of being noticed with good music before expecting to be there. You know, sometimes we want to go up to the top, but you have to put in the work and understand the ropes, and eventually you get there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to, yes, y'all just getting started. Just getting warm. What we do not have all day, we have some more candidates to speak with. So as we get ready to wrap up, I'll take a quick break, and we'll just have just a shorter segment when we return from that brief break. All right. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back very shortly.
Succeed and make a meaningful impact in St. Andrews Southeast.
Championing change, embracing inclusion, a future for all. Hello to the youths of St. Andrew Northwest. My name is Derek Samuel, and I am excited to announce my candidacy to be your youth parliamentarian. As your representative, I will amplify my voice for youth empowerment, advocating for proper training and job opportunities for each and every one of us. Inclusive education. I will push for improved programs and resources for all students, no matter their learning style or ability. Social justice. I will ensure that everyone is treated fairly and equally, no matter our backgrounds or life experiences. I aim to make St. Andrews Northwest a place where discrimination has no space.
Welcome back, viewers, and we are in the debate. We are just about wrapping up our two St. George's Northwest candidates. We have Mr. Jamal Mitchell with us and Angela Bowen. And so we're getting into our last few questions. Ms. Bowen, in your opinion, should tertiary education be free for all youth, or should it remain based on merit and economic need? In your opinion, should tertiary education be free for all youth, or should it remain based on merit and economic need?
I believe that it should be free for all. We are seeing that, so in college, we are seeing that there's an increase in violence, but that is inevitable. I don't think the free for all program is directly affecting the violence in college, for example. I am in agreement with this because sometimes you may not have the merit aspect, but you have the potential. And having that potential, once you reach in an environment where you can bloom, you will see that having the free-for-all education will really enable us having a diverse sector of youth, a diverse group of persons, how they think, how they apply themselves will be very beneficial. So having this really will bring children and youths in general to see what they can do and what they can achieve without the cost added to that.
Okay. Mr. Mitchell?
Greetings again to our viewers on the live. To our regional viewers, greetings once again. So it should be free, right? Because again, we need to acknowledge the poor and vulnerable again, right? So invest in the young people. Once you have money, you will invest in your child. And there are people in this country, as we know it, that cannot afford to take care of all their children. Some people has 4, 5, 7, and they cannot take care of the necessary needs of all of them additionally to the bills. So in this way, we can have more young people involved. So the idle hands are the devil's workshop, and some young people, especially young men, they are turning away their future because of financial sustenance, right? So involvement of digital classes, etc., etc. So basically, we need to have a diversified workforce. Everything is moving digital, and it should be free to all, right? So young people, you have a future and you need to claim it. Mental health awareness is what I'm advocating for. So I got you covered. Thank you.
All right. And did you just say mental health awareness? What did you say?
I said mental health awareness because at the end of the day, it starts at home, it reaches in school, and teachers might not actually be certified enough to deal with children, and when they come to school with their problems, it affects their focus, and it affects their ability to learn at school, and they're easily distracted into other juvenile behaviors. So at the end of the day, we need to put a hold on juvenile delinquents by tackling it at the home. Mental health awareness. Let's look at the roots of the problem before you look at the fruits of the problem. Thank you.
So that was actually my next question. As a youth leader, would you support decisions to make mental health support a mandatory component to the school curriculum, and why?
Well, I guess I'm going to continue speaking again. So, as a young person, I experienced the feeling of, of financial constraints, right? So, in this, not everybody is able to become entrepreneurs, right? My solution was to become an entrepreneur, and as I'm gonna let the public know, I started giving free haircuts in my constituency, giving back. So I'm empowering young people. So while I'm cutting the young people here, the students in the schools, I'm actually having mental health conversations. So I'm encouraging them. Well, if a teacher is telling you that you're uneducated, you're not intelligent, if somebody's trying to make you look small because you got a 3, motivate yourself. If it's something you need to do it. Talk to somebody. If you need help, ask for help. Do not be afraid to ask for help. And the young people are saying that they're not openly getting responses that they're looking for from even if it's the teacher. So they need a shoulder to lean on, and we need to be there for our young people. Not all of them are strong enough to be able to deal with it by themselves like me, but we need to be able to help them because we have potential in this country and we need to explore our potentials. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we move over to Ms. Bowen.
Mental health in schools is the question, right?
Right. So I can repeat.
Okay.
As a youth leader, would you support decision to make mental health support a mandatory component to the school curriculum, and why?
It should be mandatory because now we're seeing a lot of sad news, a lot of news that would burden the heart at some point. Me personally, I had to go through losing my mother at a young age. I thankfully was able to break away from the stigmatism attached to going to a counselor. And even when I would tell my friends, oh, well, I'm going to the counselor just now, and they'll be like, well, why are you going to tell she all your business for? She going to tell somebody else. I would thankfully not listen to them and be powerful enough, I would say, bold enough to say, okay, I'm going to seek out the help I deserve and sort out through this part in my life. And now I have come to terms with it, and I am now very different from where I used to be. And mental health is a big part of what we don't talk about. We stigmatize it a lot, not only as a people, but as Black communities, we don't talk about it enough. And even in the homes, we don't speak on that. a common joke is that, oh, mom, I'm depressed, and oh, to go depress them dishes is something that would be said. So it's important to know that you have a voice and you can have someone around you to talk to. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give. Oh, there's a rebuttal coming in. Our statement. Let's hear it from Mr. Mitchell.
Right. So as I was speaking earlier about these programs, right? A part of these summer school programs, these are giving us an opportunity to talk and converse to the young people to find out what it is really that's limiting them in life on a whole. And it's like people waiting for summer to come, right? So that they could be able to come to our summer program so that they could be able to get the good gospel, I should say, because everything is possible through God. So young people, we need to remember God on this journey, because that's the first person to go to. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen again. So again, I'd ask for a round of applause for our two candidates, please. Yes, you guys did well, Mr. Jamal Mitchell and Miss Angela Bowen. And I see that there are the people online, they are commenting, they're unfortunately you guys cannot see the comments, but they are good comments. People have their preferences in which of the two candidates that they prefer to have represent them. You have to encourage your friends and so to comment and share as well, because this is a campaign. As much as it is a debate, it is also a campaign. Now, we are going to start our wrap up, and to do so, we would ask Mr. Mitchell first to give his closing remarks. And I'd ask you this: for the people in your constituency who's likely to vote for you, this is your final pitch to convince them that you're the man for the job. Go right ahead.
To my people of the St. George Northwest, to the young people in our constituency, we need more than road work. And road work is something we should not depend on as young people. We need entrepreneurs, and we need entrepreneurs to have a job. They need financial stability, and there are resources there for you. And you need to be aware of that. And I'm here to make you aware of that. Whatever I know, whatever resources I know, I can be able to talk to you. We need more people on the government side. We need more young people to be working for the government who has the agriculture associated degree, etc. We need more team. We need enforcements on the government side to be able to take firm action on the current issues that are oppressing our country. And we need your help. So this is an invitation to you, young people out there, that we need to work together. It's not me alone. Is all of us to come together, to unite once again as Grenadians, to make a difference in our country. So many persons in our history, right? From Sorek Matthew Gary, the fourth, we have so much of history, so many lives, right? And we need to be able to make a change. We need a rebirth. Grenada, we need a rebirth. And through that rebirth, we need unity, peace, and love for all. Let the tourists come and see a reflection of our unity on our faces when we talk to them. This shouldn't be a tourism thing. This should be an everyday thing. And I'm advocating for love, peace, unity, also mental health awareness. So talk to me. Amen.
Okay, Ms. Bowen.
I believe in working together to change communities. Community spirit is something I'm very passionate about, educational opportunities as well as youth empowerment. In addition to this, I will encourage everyone that's listening now to please go register on youthelections.gov.gd to be a part of this decision-making process, to say if myself will be elected or the gentleman beside me will be elected. We must see the need for community spirit to be, as he said, rebirth into Grenada. We have to see the need of more youth groups, entrepreneurs create jobs, so more job creation in Grenada. So thank you, and please vote for me.
Okay, and
Also, the choice is yours, and we just talk about we just talk about equality. She said vote for her. I'm asking you to please vote for me. Let's make the implementation today equal.
Prior to this whole thing, right? Did you two know each other at all?
You wanna go first?
Okay.
It's okay,
Go
all
ahead.
So
right.
when I was in Form 2, I think, I knew his younger brother.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I don't really remember him as much. But I think you're hinting at the fact that we're both passionate about community spirit.
Right.
I understand his passionate in that aspect as well, which is very good. It shows that we all see the need for more togetherness, to community togetherness.
Right, and even as you're saying, the opportunity to be part of the decision making process, to be heard, because a lot of the decisions that are made from the top, it comes down to you and I, the younger people who it would affect in one way or the next. So now that you have been involved in this entire program and this entire process, Mr. Mitchell, I'll take you first with this one. How has this changed your life? How has it impacted you?
Well, it changed my life dramatically, and I would say this: I was very passionate. I am very passionate about my country. My name is Jamal Mitchell, right? They say what they say, you have to born in the belly. Apparently I was voicing a lot of ideas and voicing a lot of things, and it really hurt my integrity. It really put a hold on to me, because seeing what the potential we as young people have, right? And we don't want the poor and vulnerable to be victims here. We don't want nobody to be victims of the ideas that we as young people produce. So I saw this as an initiative to be able to partake and start a career where, instead of just talking on the road or talking in tongue, I could be able to get a larger audience to be engaged in the decision making, and also the young people. We 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 don't really get the opportunity to speak to the bigger heads in society, right? And we don't really get to be involved. We give ideas, and we're not being involved. So this is a opportunity for us as young people to be able to come out, voice our opinions, and be a part of the decision making. We need follow-ups as well, because we giving out the input, and we need to see the output. So we as young people, we've had enough, and we're looking forward to have a important input in our decision making in our country, and we are concerned about our future, because whatever is being implemented now has a positive or negative effect on our young people. So we need young people on board as well. I advocate for youth ministers, but it's still something in consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Miss Bowen. So I was asking, with your involvement in this program, the entire youth parliament process, and so how has that changed or impacted your life?
It has given me a platform to speak on the things I thought internally.
Hmm.
It has made me realize that there's other youths that think the same as me, and it has made me relate to a group of people, like all the candidates that are now in this process. Everyone in this process has the same ideas or new ideas that we should all implement and we should all take in consideration, because these are different places in Grenada, different constituencies that feel different problems, different decision making implementations. So we see that there are people that think differently, and these people
Okay.
Sorry.
I understand, and of course you have to be passionate about these things. Young people really do yearn for a listening ear. We need a voice, and so this youth parliament program is providing this avenue for the young people. We have in this program there are people from college. You're from college, Miss Bowen. As Miss Bowen is from the T. Marisha Community College. She's a student there. We have had a couple of days ago. We had one of the students who was from the Anakin High School, if I'm not mistaken. She's from the Anakin High School, so it reaches different age groups of young people. So at least we can get into their thinking and into their needs and into their concerns. And this is what you're getting from the new Youth Parliament program. And when I say new, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they have introduced several updates to the Youth Parliament program, and that is to create a more immersive experience for the aspiring leaders, as we are seeing in front of us today. Now, these enhancements aim to strengthen the leadership skills and mostly of the young people, better prepare them for leadership roles, and to deepen their understanding of parliamentary rules and procedures. Now, some of the key elements of the revamped program, it includes, but it's not limited to, the national youth elections, and the candidates, they were selected from the parish level sitting, that we were going around in different constituency, in the different parishes, and there were these little sittings on different topics. So that's where they were chosen from. Also, a structured mentorship initiative, ongoing leadership training and development over the 2-year period, and here's what, financial, and which is important, financial support for community-focused projects. So this is not a theory. There's actually action happening to this entire program where these young leaders are getting to make a meaningful impact in their respective communities. Also, youth-led initiatives spearheaded by the National Youth Parliamentarians, and as well quarterly National Youth Parliament sessions to discuss national issues. These are some of the changes or the improvements that you are seeing or experiencing through this program. All right, and all of this is so that these young people can actually be able to get the opportunity to have all of those experiences so that they can become better leaders as they go forward. So again, folks, you can look forward to more of these debates. On Monday, God's willing, we would have another set of candidates and we will bring them before you so that you can hear their perspectives and their plans. So this is it for us for today. We want to thank our online viewers. We want to thank the supporters. We want to thank the Division of Youth, Sports, and of course all the employees who have been working working directly and indirectly with the youngsters to at least execute this program. We want to say thank you very much. All right, so we want to say thank you again to the candidates. Give them a round of applause again. You did well, and do look forward to hearing more from us next week, Monday, God's willing. Have a good one. Goodbye.
St. Andrews Southeast. My name is Kevon George, and I am your candidate and the best choice to make in the National Youth Parliament elections on December 5th. I'll give you 3 reasons why. Reason number 1, action. I have and will continue to represent you in the concerns that you have communicated to me in the areas of education, business, community development, personal development, and home ownership. Reason number 2, experience. I have been an active participant in the National Youth Parliament program since 2021. Why, you may ask? I am passionate about improving the everyday lives of our youths, and the program has given me the tools and opportunity to do just that. And number 3, no idle words. I'm a firm believer in the saying, do what you say you would do. And so, I am not here with any pie-in-the-sky political plans, but rather simple, straightforward, and accomplishable plans. And so, St. Andrews Southeast, a vote for Kevon George is a vote for action and experience over idle words. And that is the only right choice.
On the block today, in Parliament House tomorrow.
Join me and let's make a difference together.
A vote for me is a vote for action.
Action and experience over idle words.
Big Parish Youths, we are your candidates.